Rome was one of the most powerful civilizations whose empire ruled Europe for over 1,000 years. Beginning in the 8th century BC, ancient Rome grew from a small town on central Italy's Tiber River into an empire that at its peak encompassed most of continental Europe, Britain, much of Western Asia, Northern Africa, and the Mediterranean islands. Among the many legacies of Roman dominance are the widespread use of the Romance languages, Italian, French, Spanish, Portuguese, and Romanian, that are derived from Latin, the modern Western alphabet and calendar, and the emergence of Christianity as a major world religion. Unlike the Greeks, who excelled in intellectual and artistic endeavors, the Romans achieved greatness in their military, political, and social institutions. Roman society during the Republic was governed by a strong military ethos. Several key geographical features in the Italian peninsula provided opportunities for the Roman civilization to thrive. Rome began as a small village near the Tiber River in Italy on a peninsula close to the Mediterranean Sea. The city was also far enough inland to provide some protection from the sea. The Tiber River was a source of fresh water and rich soil needed to support the development of people, animal, and crops of Rome. It is the second longest river in Italy. Rome is located to the east of the river. It begins in the Apennine Mountains and flows through the Tyrrhenian Sea. The river provided easy transportation, and the river's valley had vast land for farming. The river also served as a defense system against attacks from the other side of the river. Ancient Rome's geography secured it as the center of international trade and a safe haven for its elites. The Roman Empire was governed by an autocracy, which means that the government was made up of a single person, that is, the emperor. The Senate, which was the dominant political power in the Roman Republic, was kept, but the Senate lacked real political power, and so made few real governmental decisions. The Roman Empire itself was characterized by imperial administration and had a hierarchy of magistrates and provincial governors. After Augustus, most of the Roman emperors came up through the military after using their power in the army to become powerful and secure their rule. The Roman kingdom was the earliest period of Roman history when the city and its territory were ruled by kings. According to oral accounts, the Roman kingdom began with the city's founding in 753 BC, with settlements around the Palatine Hill along the river Tiber in central Italy, and ended with the overthrow of the kings and the establishment of the Republic in 509 BC. In 451 BC, Rome received its first written law code, inscribed upon 12 bronze tablets and publicly displayed in the Forum. Its provisions concerned such matters as legal procedures, debt foreclosure, paternal authority over children, property rights, inheritance, and funerary regulations. This so-called Law of the 12 Tablets was to form the basis of all subsequent Roman private law. The social structure of ancient Rome was based on heredity, property, wealth, citizenship, and freedom. It was also based around men. Women were defined by the social status of their fathers or husbands. Women were also expected to look after the houses, and very few had any real independence. Ancient Rome was made up of a structure called a social hierarchy, or division of people into differently ranked groups depending on their jobs and family. The emperor was at the top of this structure, followed by the wealthy landowners, the common people, and the slaves, who were, of course, the lowest class. Defined by the men in their lives, women in ancient Rome were valued mainly as wives and mothers, Although some were allowed more freedom than others, there was always a limit, even for the daughter of an emperor. Unlike society in ancient Egypt, Rome did not regard women as equal to men before the law. They received only a basic education, if any at all, and were subject to the authority of man. Traditionally, this was their father before marriage. At that point, the authority switched to their husband, who also had legal rights over the children. In reality, the degree of freedom a woman enjoyed depended largely on her wealth and social status. A few women ran their own businesses, one woman was a lamp maker or had a career as a midwife, hairdresser, or even doctors, but these cases were very rare. On the other hand, female slaves were common and filled a huge variety of roles, from ladies' maids to farm workers and even gladiators. The Roman Empire was a primarily polytheistic civilization, which meant that people recognized and worshipped multiple gods and goddesses. Despite the presence of monotheistic religions within the empire, such as Judaism and Christianity, Romans honored multiple deities. They believed that these deities served a role in the founding of the Roman civilization and that they helped shape the events of people's lives on a daily basis. Romans paid allegiance to the gods both in public spaces and in private homes, while the Roman state recognized main gods and goddesses by decorating public buildings and fountains with their images. Families worshipping at home also put special emphasis on the deities of their choosing. The main god and goddesses in Roman culture were Jupiter, Juno, and Minerva. Roman architecture is known for concrete domed buildings, the innovative use of the arch, the amphitheater design, the basilica, the triumphal arch, and the residential apartment blocks. Roman architecture adopted the external language of classical Greek architecture for the purposes of ancient Romans, but was different from Greek buildings, becoming a new architectural style. These two are often considered one body of classical architecture. Ancient Roman architecture used new materials, particularly concrete, and newer technologies such as the arch and the dome to make buildings that were typically strong and well engineered. Large numbers remain in some form across the empire, sometimes complete and still in use to this day. The most straightforward theory for Western Rome's collapse pins the fall on a string of military losses sustained by outside forces. Rome had tangled with the Germanic tribes for centuries, but by the 300s, barbarian groups like the Goths had encroached beyond the empire's borders. The reasons for the fall of Rome includes invasions by barbarian tribes, economic troubles, and over-reliance on slave labor, including the rise of the Eastern Empire, over-expansion and military overspending, government corruption, political instability, the arrival of Huns, migration of barbarian tribes, Christianity, and the loss of traditional values, and finally, the weakening of Roman legions. The fall of the Roman Empire is one of the most debated questions among historians of the ancient world. Its collapse has been blamed on a number of different reasons, but even the exact date of what is considered its end is still questioned. Some historians give 476 AD as the date the empire ended. Other historians say that the Roman Empire never actually ended at all, claiming that its eastern half continued in the form of the Byzantine Empire. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. You can also turn on notifications by clicking on the bell icon. Thank you for your time and stay tuned for more such related content.